Hey, it's Sam from Sugar Spun Run, and today I'll be showing you how to quickly cook asparagus. All right, since so many of you requested more easy side dishes after I shared my roasted potatoes, I wanted to show you how I cook asparagus. Nothing fancy, super simple, but the flavor is amazing. It is a great side dish, and you can make it quickly. I'm cooking a meatloaf for dinner tonight. While that is in the oven finishing up cooking, I am going to quickly cook some asparagus to have as a side dish. Now, let's talk asparagus. You will need about a pound of asparagus for this recipe. Just buy one of those bunches, that's a good amount. And you're going to need to remove the bottom part. The bottom is like a woody fibrous stem. It's not very tasty. Some people will cut this off because it's the slightly less wasteful way to do it. I always just snap my asparagus. Now, it's very easy to feel in the asparagus, like where you should be snapping it. You can just feel like where it snaps easily, that's where you want to snap it. Some people will say, oh, you waste a little bit of asparagus that way. You don't waste that much. It's not worth it to me to get out the knife. This is just so quick and easy. So we're going to snap all of our stems off of our asparagus. So it's really quick. Kids can help you with it. You know, they say if kids help you like prep dinner, a lot of times they'll be more likely to eat it. That is not always true, yeah, unfortunately. The snapping's kind of fun. Another thing I have not yet mentioned about the asparagus, though, I'll try to jump away. It is so important that your asparagus be completely dry. So anytime you get it from the store, you're going to want to wash it before you cook it, but then also dry it. If you just want to wash your asparagus when you bring it home and then let it dry itself, or what I'll do is I'll wash it right before I cook it, but then I will like individually dry the asparagus with paper towels because you don't want any water on it. Water on it can steam it and make it soggy. So you want all of the moisture off of it. And that applies to most veggies you're cooking. I know I really stress this with my potatoes too. It matters. So we're almost done snapping. All right, let's head over to the stovetop. Everything's going to come together really quickly here. It usually takes like 5 minutes or less for me to cook the asparagus. Get yourself a skillet. This is just a medium-sized one. I would be doing myself a favor if I used something slightly larger because I wouldn't be crowding the asparagus quite as much, but we're going to make this work. It'll be just fine. Turn your stovetop to medium-high heat. We're going to add about a tablespoon of either olive oil or avocado oil. On a stovetop that has a heat that goes to like 9 or 10, I usually use a heat of like 7. And on standby, you want to have some, pepper that you can grind, salt you can grind. They're just gonna give you a little better flavor, but you could just sprinkle regular table salt and black pepper. And you also wanna have a tablespoon of salted butter and half of a lemon, fresh lemon. So good with this. All right, turn my pan, get that oil well distributed. And I want the oil to be shimmering. I'll know it's nice and hot that way. All right, we'll add our asparagus to the pan. Toss it a little bit to get it coated with the oil. My stovetop doesn't like it when I move the pan, so that's why it's beeping at me. Just a little bit of jostling gets everything nicely coated. And here's where I'll add some salt and pepper. You can just add this to taste. Freshly cracked pepper is ideal, and sea salt's really nice with this. Toss that again. Now, all you really want to do is watch it at this point and move it frequently. So you can just stir it with like a spatula if you want. I just like to keep it moving like this, just tossing it in the pan. So it requires a little bit of attention, but you really want to give the asparagus your full attention anyway because this cooks so quickly. Also, if you can see, my asparagus is particularly skinny and that cooks even faster. Sometimes you get those thicker stalks, it's going to take longer, but these, they're just going to cook so fast. And keep it moving, that way nothing burns. Not constantly moving, but frequently. So to know that the asparagus is finished cooking, you want it to be fork tender. It could even be slightly a teeny tiny bit less than fork tender because it continues to cook when you remove it from the heat. So it's very easy to accidentally overdo it. So just watch it. I have a fork here. And just kind of like how you would want asparagus to feel on your plate when you put a fork into it, that's what we're aiming for, or just a smidge before that. Feel professional here. I'm sure my techniques leaves something to be desired, but it works. And as I mentioned earlier, a larger skillet would be slightly better because the asparagus would have a little bit more room to breathe, but this is gonna be fine. I'm making this recipe super simple. We're seasoning it with salt, pepper, a little bit of butter, and some lemon juice, but I do have some variations over on the blog. You could add a little bit of garlic, or you could add a little bit of Parmesan cheese. Those are really nice additions as well. This is simple. The asparagus flavor really shines in a really nice way here. All right, let's check this out. Perfect. Perfectly tender, just a little shy of where we want it to be ideally. So I'm going to add 1/2 tablespoon of salted butter. I'm also going to add the juice from half a lemon. I don't always use all of this because I don't want it to be too lemony, but you want to use at least a tablespoon of lemon juice. All right, let's go ahead and stir this. Get the asparagus nicely coated. Get that butter melted. And you want to serve it immediately. Things go downhill fast if the asparagus sits too long. So I'm going to go ahead and serve this with my meatloaf for dinner. I would love it if you guys tried this out, or if you let me know if you want to see more recipes like this, and if you enjoyed this one, I would love to know. I'd love to know if you don't like it too. I don't love that as much, but it's good for me to know. Good feedback. So there you have it, perfectly cooked asparagus. Didn't take us long at all. I think you're gonna love this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. That's perfect. With a stovetop that goes to like 9 or 10, I usually use the heat of like 11. No, I don't. No. What? I don't know where that came from.